Hello Gary, this is Sky, and in the next lecture that follows, I will try to combine my summaries of what I have learned through the full chapters of my textbook and my own insights. And as you can see, I use a keynote on my iPad to show this process and to help me to show the process. And I made this one using the PowerPoint on my computer. To be honest, when I try to immerse myself in the textbook and sum up my knowledge framework, I feel very painful. It seems very difficult to understand a lot of theoretical theoretical knowledge simply relying on my existing knowledge. Fortunately, digital rhetoric is closely related to our current writing, and we have all conducted with blog podcast materials in the past study. So now let's begin with the introduction. And when looking through this part, I found this sentence is very useful. In a future edition of the digital text, I hope to implement a remixed engine, a system that will allow readers to pull elements from the book, edit them, rearrange them, add additional content, and share the results with others. And why I think is useful because I think this sentence just show us what the author want to do with this book. And let's connect this with the content of chapter 1, defining and locating. I think in this chapter, the author explained such a relatively new concept from three dimensions: their space, time, and content. When it comes to the space, the positionalities were located in relation to intersecting subjects, including digital literacy, visual rhetoric, new media, human computer interaction, critical code studies, digital humanities, international internet studies, and some companion terms that are also mentioned. And when it comes to history part, which means the time part, Haig uncovered the origins of digital rhetoric as it evolved from George Laud's earlier notions of hypertext to James Zappan's call for an integrated theory, to more recent applications by Barbara Wernick, Ian Bogost, Elizabeth Losh, and others. And when it comes to content, it combines the terms digital,
抱歉，
text,
连接有点问题，请过会儿再试。
and rhetoric in an intricate interplay. I'm sorry, I just called my Siri out, and there's something wrong with it. Combined with my understanding, just as what I posted here, digital rhetoric is not only a static definition, but also a dynamic transformation process. Just like the blogs, podcasts, and digital storytelling we have learned in the past. When we discuss digital rhetoric, we are also discussing its comparison with traditional rhetoric and the transition between them. I think it's very important to understand. And when it comes to the chapter 2, when I reviewed this part, the content of it, I found that I was so glad because I found that my ideas were largely conformed. In my opinion, this chapter is an extension of the first chapter by the author. It also shows one of the most important research significances of digital rhetoric lies in its comparison with traditional rhetoric and its development. Undoubtedly, such a process is optimist. That is to say, digital rhetoric is an advanced version of traditional rhetoric, and it also follows the trend of times. According to my own understanding, the transmission the transmission of information in traditional rhetoric seems to be a single linear process. Digital rhetoric has created new elements such as hyperlinks and label pages through the intervention of technology, making it non-linear. And here I would like to show you with this. And as you can see, this is Weibo. It's just like the Chinese Twitter. And as you can see, in the past, when we talk about the traditional rhetoric, maybe just this one. People post the words here and maybe give some pictures, and we read it. It's a kind of linear process. But here, it's give us a tag, which means that in other pages we could find this one through the tag, and there are a lot of comments. And in the comments, there are also a lot of cyberlinks. It could just let us go through other pages, other topics very easily through these links. It's more convenient because of the technology and make this process non-linear. That's it. And when it comes to the third part, the method, as you can see as the name of this part, a number of methods were presented, including the CODE and network administration tools, several log analysis, social network analysis, hypertext network analysis, citation analysis, content analysis, including cognitive mapping and data visualization. These tools expose a complex interconnecting among users and texts. I also think that this part, the third chapter, is the one that most closely related to the digital storytelling we have learned. The method provided by Eamon is to open up our cognitive and perceptual rhetoric in digital space and broaden and surpass research in the field of vision. In the process of getting familiar with digital storytelling, because in the past I didn't know more about it, I also feel that when I receive information, the senses are not only visual. My thinking and experience has been greatly improved. and as you can see, as what I mentioned here, the author also explain about the microcosmic and macrocosmic and microcosmic and macrocosmic, the close and distant, the local and the global. There are a lot of ways to explain the method. And when it comes to chapter 4, the chapter 4 presented numerous examples of pedagogic, scholarly, and public digital rhetoric tests. From my own understanding, the previous 3 chapters are largely based on theoretical significance. Let us better understand the inherent meaning of digital rhetoric from all aspects. But the 4th chapter focuses on how to apply the theories into practice and give specific cases. In fact, according to my understanding, we can see it in our daily life. Take the art of film as an example. Traditional literature is a mother of film. With the development of science, technology, and economic society, traditional literature has gradually become a vessel of the film industry and is colonized by it. However, the development of technology and economic progress is not the root cause of the decline of the traditional literature, but its opportunity to regain its vitality. The film industry takes traditional literature as a foundation and rises with the help of commercial transformation. Traditional literature has undergone commercial transformation through its own filmization. How to say that? Let me think about it. It's digitalization, digitization and mini speaking. realized the self-rescue role of traditional literature in the new media. The digital rhetoric seems to be a literacy production of this process. Learning and studying it has become what we must experience. And all of the above is about the sky talking about my own insights and the summary of the book, the 4 parts of the book I have learned. Thank you for listening.